Good evening, everybody. All you wild weirdos and weirdettes out in Wild Weird Radio Land. It's Ron. That is Joe. And that is a big spinning thing behind us that's always there. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody is ready for a good time. We're going to kick things off like we always do. And I want to welcome the Instagram folks. We are trying to stream over there again. Let's see how it works this time. And see if we can pull some of you guys in. If you do want to become part of the conversation, of course, you do have to join us here on YouTube and leave your comments there, and we will get to you. You can ask your questions, you can post comments, whatever you like. Just be respectful, have fun. This is a fun show.
Jay's in the house. What's going on, everybody? By the way, Jay is in the house. What's going on, brother? Ike Faber is out there as usual. Good to have you back. Glad you're doing well, brother. There's Jay again. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Scott Holbrook. Tick tock. What's going on, brother? Lisa's in the house. How we doing, Lisa? LW Marshall. What's going on, my man? Terry McCullough. How goes it, brother?
It goes.
Then we've got us again.
It goes.
Ada Cox is here. What's going on, Ada? Good to see you tonight. Larry Hose, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday to you too, my friend.
Happy Thursday.
We've got Lisa still going here. Lisa, Ada, Terry, Dale. There we go. There's a new one. Dale, what's going on, Dale? Good to see you tonight, man. Adam Good is in the house.
Adam.
What is up?
Welcome.
James Nelson's in the house and on time this week. James. Good job, James.
Spread the word. Good.
LR is hanging out tonight too, and Spook Jimothy made it on time.
Jimmy's here. It's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night. Jimmy's here.
Jimmy hit over 5K over on
everybody. Congratulate Jimmy. That is no simple feat to do. We are still struggling to get past the well, we did. We got past 2,000.
We got past 2,000 last.
Yeah. So that's good for us. So we're getting there. The secret ain't quite out.
For Gabler, what's going on, man? Who else? Let's see who we got. Finding the Trackways here. Hopefully, this week. Miss Trackway is here as well, and then that catches us up for right now on the chat. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You guys are awesome. And remember, the show is brought to you by
and apparently Lisa. It's by Lisa. It says right there. See, right.
Oh, Lisa is coming in hot. Thanks, Lisa. You're awesome. We greatly appreciate it.
Okay, Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate every one of you guys that help keep this thing rolling and keep us moving out on the road. We had a rather late night last night. We were out filming. We were in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and West Virginia all at once, basically, yesterday.
It was good day.
It was a great day. It was a wild time, man.
You'll get to see it in the future.
Long day. Yep. Still trying to recoup, but it's Thursday, so
still trying to make heads or tails of it too. So,
Ada Cox coming in hot. Thank you, Ada.
Okay. Anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for that. Speaking of which, those names down there. Start reading them off again. And if anyone wants to interrupt him again
I'll start it when it comes back around.
Donations, you can definitely do that, and we'll just keep doing this until
So I hope you guys are doing good out there this week. Hope you all any eventfulness this week from you guys. You guys see anything cool? Have any strange encounters or anything going on? Christopher Gabler says PAWVNMD sounds like the Chestnut Ridge.
Can't say. Can't comment on that just yet.
Trackway says, while I walk through the shadow of the valley of UAPs, I will fear no Mothman, for Adam Good art with me, and he carries a big can of bug spray. This
Oh
is
my God. You
can
guys are
confirm.
so wrong. We don't condone that, by the way. Just want to straighten that out there for everybody,
I mean, you sprayed a big can of bug spray yesterday.
I meant the prayer,
Oh.
not gonna touch that right now. It's not a good time.
So, all right, we're coming back around to the top.
Here we go, everybody. Get ready to interrupt him again with a
this show is
donation.
brought free to you by your executive producers.
Let's see. Who's going to interrupt you?
The executive producer, Adam Good, L.W. Marshall, Teresa of Teresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State, Larry Hose, Ada Cox, Nancy White, Scott Holbrook, Lisa, Finding the Trackway, Tommy Swigger. This list is getting to the point where we're going to just let it run a few times around and call it good at that point, because this is going to take like 6 minutes to make it through this scroller here soon. Pat is here with us, and then we've got Beans from the Tattoo Man, Small Town Monsters, Oz in the Woods, James Nelson. Then we've got our amazing super chatters that hang out with us every week: Dewey Edwards, the Deuster, Jimothy, Spooky Appalachia, Guitar Chains Craig, Travis Rednick, Jeffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Bigfoot, Littlefoot, Terry Summerfield, Sarah Ramsey, Julie Bug, Donna Ho. Where is Donna Ho? I ain't seen her pop in the comments yet. She's running late.
Find her.
Angie Breeden, Jen Clower, Jamie Snap. They both, I think, just got back from San Diego Comic-Con. Looked like an absolute ball. Ike, the Fob Daddy Fauber, Ashley Hiltov on Wednesdays We Talk Weird, Lotus Flower, Wendy the Pooh Bear, Asher's Creation, and Spirit Brothers Paranormal UK. Go check out their channel, by the way. It's they got some good stuff coming.
Yes, and to get your name added to that long scrolling roster at the bottom. We're trying to see how many names we can get on that thing. All you got to do is get either a super chat or just a super sticker, and we'll add you on there, and you'll get called out just like all those people, because those are the people who support us, and we support them.
LR said the only strange thing I've seen this week is being home on a Thursday night for the show. Oh, well, good for you, man. Get some.
You're on time.
Relaxing going on. He's normally with us. He's just on the run.
This is good.
Then Seth, my disciple.
Nope, not gonna do that. So,
man,
wow, just crazy. So
Jen snuck in here too.
Jen's here. Okay, hey, welcome. All right, guys. So, what is going on out in your world this week? Have you had any strange encounters, anything like that we're going to be talking about? Because again, this is your show. For those who are new, who've not tuned into this show in a while, this is not like the regular podcast. This is the live, and on the live, this is your show.
Yeah,
you can ask questions.
Let you guys take the rudder and direct it where you want to go.
We have a general discussion that we'll be talking about. A few little things we'll throw up there, but it's going to go wherever you point it. And believe me, sometimes it goes into some very strange lands.
Ashley says she had, I'm assuming it says have.
Had a big news this week. She had good news this week, basically. That's good.
Good. Big news is always good. I saw something odd. Don't know if you saw.
Well, that's vague. Jimmy.
We are rather far apart, Jimbo.
Jimmy.
Trackway, the Trackway clan is at the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival tomorrow. That should be delightfully weird. It should be. You guys should have a good time. It's going to be, tomorrow won't be as crowded. Saturday will be bonkers.
Saturday's going to be nuts and hot. Drink lots of fluid. Trust me. I know.
Oh, Ashley Hill says, okay, so it's not my news, but my co-host on the season of Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah, you got Tobias Wayland over there. He's on the new season of Unsolved Mysteries about the Mothman.
The Mothman, y'all.
Boogie.
You might notice some other people in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mothman, there's some really cool mothy stuff brewing, I hear.
Indeed.
Do you hear there's some mothy stuff brewing?
I've heard there is some mothy stuff brewing.
There's some mothy stuff brewing. Let's just say everybody wants to be at the Mothman Festival this year.
Oh, yeah. Mothman Festival this year is going to be absolutely bonkers.
I hear it's going to be Saturday and Sunday. That it's going to be bonkers.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Oh
heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky Appalachia said I posted earlier, saw the Brown Mountain lights. I did not see that.
I didn't see it, buddy.
I did not. I spend a insane amount of not time on social media and trying to get other stuff done and accomplished around the house right now, especially with summer winding to its close and time ticking away to get some stuff done. These last couple weeks here will be a blur, I'm sure, especially right now. Mothman prep has already begun.
Oh yeah,
and
it's fun.
And
It's a lot of fun.
We're in full bore. So if we miss something spooky, make sure you send it in a direct message. That way, I'll definitely see it.
Yeah, and the folks who are sending your reports and whatnot in, we are seeing those. Just to let you know, we cannot right now respond to them in real time. Just to give you an idea, yesterday we were in no service areas for hours. We were on the road for hours,
Yeah,
and
11
that's
total hours
pretty
for
much
me.
common at this point. So
Yeah,
just bear with us. We'll get things
and
back to some semi-normal soon.
yeah, yeah,
Semi-normal, not really, but semi. Can't stuff the genie back in the bottle, that kind of thing.
right. Then let's see. We got.
Saw Glenn's presentation Thursday.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Glenn did a great job. Glenn did a wonderful job for Glenn. No, I'm kidding. He did a great job. He nailed that. I think that he handled the questions very well.
Seth's feeling it too. Mothmania is
Mothmania.
upon us. It
Yes, it
really,
is.
really is.
Yes.
Yes, definitely want you to get a hold of us and
Yeah.
talk to us. We'll have you on the show to talk about it too if you got some time.
For sure. Angie made it.
Yep, Angie's here. Yeah, I'm eyeballing the chat right now, making sure I'm not missing anything. Then let's see. Ash says you can't have technology and magic at the same time. The phenomena refuses it.
That's good.
Oh man, so let's see. What do we got coming up here soon? We got tomorrow. We're going to be at the Braxton County Fair.
That's right. We will be.
We're going to be doing a presentation at the Braxton County Fair. It's the first time anything like this has been done at the fair, and
Excited.
they invited us.
Let's see how it goes.
We're going to go up there and have a party.
I think Steve's going to be there.
Yeah, Steve Ward's going to be there, and
so a lot of our cohorts will be there.
Yeah, so it'll be really cool. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. We're going to have, if you're in the area, I know Hocking Hills is this weekend, so a lot of our usuals are going to be up there in Ohio. But if you're in the Central West Virginia area and you want to come hang out, we will be there from like 5, I think, until 9 tomorrow.
It's going to be fun times. We're going to have our equipment there again, for people to take a look at. And we're going to give a little presentation, share some data, stuff like that, who we are and all that stuff. I think everybody knows who we are by now. If they don't, then, well, here we are. It's us.
Hello. Scott has made it in. What's going on, Scott? X exactly right. Better late than never.
Made it.
And then Octopus has jumped on with us.
Octopus is here now. Welcome.
The technology and magic conundrum.
Yes. So
8 o'clock, I will be at the Braxton County Fair. That is awesome.
Hell, looky there. Somebody's
gonna come hang out.
Somebody's gonna come see us.
At least we'll have one person there.
Yeah, we'll have one person there to see us. That'll be awesome. I'm so excited now.
Oh man, this is great. I can't tomorrow. So then we've got Braxton County Fair coming up. Then we've got the Flatwoods Monster Festival.
Yep.
It's the 14th, right?
You're going to put me on the spot. And I made the things. You think I'd know that, but
I'm going to our website. Never fear.
Go check
that
the info
out there.
Over there, because I think we posted.
Why am I doing that when I have the thing right here and I can just go bloop?
Is that the right thing?
Yeah. Pow.
Sure. Oh yeah, there it is. It's the right thing.
September 14th. I was right.
It is 14th. There you go.
Yep.
Man.
So that's our lineup. That's where we're gonna be here coming up soon. So we
As
got
of right now, yeah.
September the
Mhm.
14th, we're going to be at the Flatwoods Monster Con. Then the obviously Mothman Festival. We love the Mothman Festival. We never miss it. That's September 21st and 22nd this year. Then we're going to be at Thunder in the Mountains Powwow, October 12th and 13th. And to round out our year, you can catch us at Cryptid Con, the 22nd through the 24th of November. It's always an absolute blast. We have a great time there. It's one of our favorite shows. You just have time to hang out with people because it's the 2-day event.
It's a good show. So
And
everybody come out there and support, people and whatnot, obviously.
yeah,
And meet some people. I hear there's gonna be some people there if you want to meet. I'm
and
not talking about us.
don't forget too, another thing that we were involved with quietly until here recently when it opened. We've
Quietly.
got the Mothman 66 escape room, a step back in
Yeah.
time. It is open. It's ready to rock and roll. You can go to the website and hit that book now tab.
Book it. Go play it.
Basically, we did the set
Play it.
design.
Play it.
We did the troubleshooting on the
Oh,
puzzles
we had to
and
rework it a few
and
things.
there was a whole lot of months of work went into that to get it to
Yeah.
where you guys can go through and enjoy it. And everybody so far has seemed to
Yeah.
had an absolute ball.
Yeah, it's getting amazing reviews, which is really awesome to see. I'm so happy about that. But yeah, we had to work on a lot of that stuff. We actually made some of the newer puzzles, and we made some of the proposals for puzzles actually work, which
Yeah.
means that they're. I think someone said that they were just the right level of difficulty, and we tried to do that. So that's awesome.
Terry.
So that worked out
Thanks,
really well.
Terry. You're awesome.
Is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
Um,
awesome, Terry.
as far as it goes with with that, there's a couple of things in there. There's some Easter eggs hidden. You'll find them, possibly, maybe. I don't know. I would just say that you might hear us at some point
Yeah.
in the experience if you listen real close. And you don't even have to listen too close. But yeah, you might hear us. You might see some things here and there, just maybe. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of props that were built, and that was us. We did that, and I'm okay saying that because Jeff said, "Make sure everybody knows you did it." So Jeff, we made sure everybody knew we did it. So you guys go down for real. Give them a booking. I hear they're almost booked up for this Saturday, by the way.
Yeah, if they're not already
No,
full.
yeah. So and he could be. He's so excited. We're all excited because
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing. I said if I could, I would I would like to not know what I know and actually play this game because it's really that challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, and someone said, "Do you have to know about Mothman?" No, you don't have to know about Mothman to do this, by the way. But if you do know some stuff about Mothman lore, oh, you will appreciate it 1,000 times.
Oh,
I
yeah,
promise you.
and if you look deep into some of the stuff, you'll see it.
You'll really, it's
There
fun.
was attention to detail.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we spared no expense to detail, that's for darn sure. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we got that and still shooting for Paranormal Horizons. You guys ain't
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. Go watch it.
Finishing up shoots on Paranormal
And
Horizon,
if you have
and boy, oh,
watched
boy.
it, then you need to go and make sure you leave a good review and just tell everybody how awesome that audio is because that's inside joke. That's
Everybody, the second episode should be dropping here in about 2 weeks.
something like that. Yeah. We'll be putting up some trailers. I can give you a little bitty spoiler. I can give you a spoiler on this one. Guess who makes their debut in this one?
A few.
Guess who makes their debut though?
Bigfoot.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know about that.
Bigfoot kind of made his debut in the last one.
Yeah.
Papa!
I don't know what that was. I'm not gonna call it
It was
Bigfoot.
clearly somebody building a house out in the woods.
It was clearly what it was. Because
That,
I can
for
build
anybody who doesn't
I
go
can
through the
build
comment threads, that was one of the things
I
somebody
can
said.
build a multi-dimensional house with 2 pops. All I got to do is like that, and it's probably a 2-level house, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that was for real. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch it. You'll understand. Um, yeah, Adam Good will make his debut in
Nice.
episode 2. Our very own Adam Good makes his debut as a full-fledged member of the Strangeness Collective. And he does an incredible job and he blows our minds.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it right there because it really
And
it
you
yeah.
guys are also going to get to see some other members of the collective.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Well,
sure.
it's like the Avengers.
Yeah, we're getting them together really slowly. You're gonna get to see them as they come together. And we've got a couple. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait on them because that's it's really cool just to see. So as we get a little closer, I'll reveal maybe another
Oh yeah.
one here and there. But if you watch the trailer, you already know anyway. I mean, they've already made their debut. They were, but you get to see them in action, which is even cooler.
Yeah, because what would a collective be without a collective?
I
So
don't know. It'd be a non-collective.
right.
It would be a
Um,
solo. No,
yeah. So tonight's topic is
something I literally made up at the last minute because we needed one. That's what tonight's topic is, right? Okay. So,
oh
full
man,
disclosure, we
is
can't
there anyone out there
no.
new findings challenging old beliefs?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff that's come out about that.
There
And
has
mhm. Mhm. Yeah, there's been some really interesting stuff come out about that
Larry
lately.
says the absence of collective. That's like a sad grunge band name.
I like that. I
The
like that.
absence of collective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's like an
But
acoustic jam band.
maybe. I mean, it could be. Weirdos assemble. Oh, that's just priceless right there.
Weirdos is simple.
You know.
Yes.
Well, at some point you'll get to see me do the arm thing, like Robert Downey Jr. does every time. Yeah, so that'll happen. Just I
Oh
promise.
God.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new thing. Remember how they used to do the Titanic thing when that was big, and they'd all go out and do the thing where they're standing on the bow. Everybody would take their pictures. Now everybody needs to do the Robert Downey Jr. I am whatever I am thing because it's either Iron Man or Doom. I'm not sure. It's Doom Man, Iron Doom.
Larry O says there's lots of beards in the next episode. There are.
It's like a really I don't even know, man.
Julie Bug's in the house. What's going on, Julie? Good to have you.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Yeah. So anyway, going to be a really fun show. Like I said, it's going to be a fun episode as far as it goes with the next episode. Can't wait to just,
Yeah.
the hardest thing is not telling you guys. And then we'll, of course, do the Beyond the Horizon afterwards. That'll be the next show after. And you'll get to see some extra stuff that got, laying on the cutting room floor because believe you me, there's a lot. And we'll be talking about that kind of stuff. But what's really fun is we're going to start seeing some weird stuff happen. And I want to preface that really quick right now, just before we go into the main topic. The weird stuff. Weird stuff is getting really popular right now.
Yep.
When we started chasing the weird stuff, it wasn't 100% popular. It was more like
It was niche and it was very
risque.
fringe.
Very, very. You ruined, your reputation by
Yeah.
really looking into it as much. It had been ignored forever. Let's give credit where credit's due. I'd give credit to Skinwalker Ranch for helping to bring
Oh yeah.
the talk
100%.
back, and then of course, the weird part is, we're out there because they shoot their seasons differently, of course, and we're out there doing research. We're kind of following along, finding these things, and then we'd turn on next season, and they're talking about the same stuff, and it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
because a lot of this stuff, right, with ghost hunters and all that, you're like, this is staged. Come on, that's an EM detector. They've got someone's playing with a cell phone or something.
Right.
But then when you start seeing things that they're doing, and we're getting those results, it's like, holy crap, there's something going on out there.
Yeah.
And then you talk to a few of your peers and they're like, yeah, there is. This is actually happening. And start comparing notes. And then we start talking about it. Well, everybody gets the bright idea. At this point, I think I'm going to go do that, which is great. The more people that are doing it, wonderful. But we have to be very careful, don't we?
Oh, 100%.
I think that is where we're at right now with it.
We've got to be very careful for multiple reasons.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know what we're messing with. We don't know what we're detecting. We know from a fundamental standpoint, like what we're detecting, like what we're receiving.
Right.
We know we're getting
Something.
signals of some sort.
Yeah.
And we know we're getting frequencies and different levels of radiation of some sort, but we don't know why.
Right.
And that's part of the curiosity of it. That's what keeps things going.
Yeah.
There's so much unknown, and it's nice now seeing there has been a kind of a turn, but at the same time, you've got to be careful. You've got to watch out, because now that it's starting to trend.
Yeah, you got the TikTokers ready to go out and
Yes,
make up their own Skinwalker Ranch episodes, right? In their backyard.
Exactly. It's starting to trend. It's starting to move that direction.
Yeah.
And you're going to have all these people running around that have no idea what they're doing or what they're messing with sometimes. And they're going to be not understanding the readings that they're getting, or understanding that some of those readings they're getting, they should run from. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 100%. Danny Buckner, what's going on, man?
Hey, Danny.
I just went full banjo right there. I'm so tired.
As far as what, who was it just said that? Was that Lisa said orbs? Yeah.
Yeah. Lisa said orbs.
Yeah. Lisa. Yeah. The number one rule, of course, is me, don't chase the orbs. But, I'm in a weird place with that, because I want the data and I don't know what to do. It's like a conflict. It's kind of like if you watch those old Star Trek episodes where they blow up the computers by making them do logic, can't do this, must do this, can't, that's where I'm at with this. It's like, I want that data. I don't want to chase the orbs, but I want that data, and I don't know how to do that. And that's where we're at this point with this. Just, I'm hoping that some of our new equipment is going to help us to, get some of that. And
Pat says the orbs lead you to Bigfoot. Mud wrestling, dog man. It's not for the faint of heart.
I mean, I don't know. It could, Pat. At this point, did you think it would surprise me? Because it would not surprise me at all. Okay, Charlotte's going to do the TikTok thing.
Jay said he's going to do the TikToks. This is great.
Go do it, Jay. I'm going to watch it.
For real, you know what I'm talking about. You guys who are on social media and flip through the reels and flip through all that stuff, you see some of these goobers that are out there just like, and they're standing on a green screen and they're like,
it's really funny though, Joe. They're going to capture this one day, and they're going to do that. They're going to be a guy standing right down here, and he's going to be like pointing up like this, this guy right here, this guy, that guy, that guy right there. Yeah, that's gonna be great. That'll be when you've made it at that point.
Tony said, so I hear ghosts are calling me out by name. I have only this to say: 1, it happened because I wasn't there, and 2, the ghosts keep my cheerfully skeptical name out of your haunted mouth. So there, Tony, I think Angie and the St. Albans crew went on a group investigation last night. We were unable to make it because we were out doing prior obligations.
We were chasing not orbs.
we were chasing something.
Not orbs. They were not orbs. I did not break the rule.
Yeah, we didn't chase orbs, so we didn't find the mud wrestling Bigfoot.
No.
But Trackway's like, fire me, boy. But yeah, it's one of these things where you got to sit back and you got to look, and you have to be very judicious with what's going to be coming, because the fact is there anyone out there? There's something out there, 100%. But then when it comes to like looking at social media, you can ask that question in a whole different aspect. Is there anyone out there? And it's just like,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
No, they're just
Eh,
babbling
well,
off stuff
we
they found
also
on Wikipedia.
true, but we also have to remember also that we are dealing with a phenomena at times. This is already way off course. I love it. You guys keep it going just like this. We're dealing with a phenomena at this point, at its heart, that causes us to question things. Literally our motto, right? Interrogate, omni,
100%.
the question everything. So here's the thing: is that by design, or is that just human nature that we want to know? We're looking for that next puzzle piece, right? I don't know.
It I think it's a mixture of both, and I can't say too much, but it's a mixture of both. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think it's fascinating. I really do. And you know, when you do hear other people, other peers who are
yeah,
experiencing the same thing, and you're just like, wait, what? You know, it's kind of weird. You get those cold chills, right?
you do, 100%. It's very sensory
Yeah.
related, like, you feel these things, you feel sensations, you feel different things happening, it's pretty wild. Danny brings up a good point when he says, "Today's technology is cool, what is to come?"
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the government's already talking about that. Then we've got, LW says, "Darn it, Ron, I'm a farmer, not an orb
Orb
chaser."
chaser. There you go. That was the Star Trek reference for you folks who didn't get it.
Jay said, "I would chase them, the data is king."
No, man, but here's the thing, I was the
Jay,
one who warned it. Yep, there it was right there. You do
I
that
don't
on
wanna sound like
make
you.
sure that you
Oh,
do that on the green screen with on your TikTok. Okay. I want to
that's
see it.
right.
You make sure that you tag me. I want to see that. I am Mothman underscore artist over there. Make sure that you tag me because I want to make fun of him too. So here's the thing.
Pat said we're chasing not deer instead, I see.
I mean, it's definitely not a deer. So yeah. It might be not a cat. I don't know. I don't know what's out there. But here's the thing, guys, for real. And no joking aside, this is how this show works. You're just like, wait, we're laughing, we're fun, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's kind of how it works. We put the brakes on, and this is a break moment. There really is something going on. That's where the data has led us to this point. We shared that here, so that's not a spoiler. You're
Yeah,
you're just going to get to see what that data is soon,
right.
and that might make you literally start to really question everything. Um, it's
Pat
yeah, go
Pat
ahead.
asked, "Has anyone tried to pet the orbs yet?" Asking for a friend, and then Larry said, "I'm fat and the orbs are too fast to touch. It's not for the lack of trying."
So here's the thing about the orbs, and you guys are hilarious. I swear. This is the funnest group that I have
Oh,
ever been involved with. And I mean that for
Linda's in the
real.
house. What's up,
Linda's
Linda?
here. Linda, we're talking about orbs and weird stuff, so you'll fit right in. I don't mean you're weird or an orb. I'm just saying you're gonna fit right in. You're gonna like this. So feel free to just chime in if we get into a territory. So
DZ505 says, "We miss y'all."
oh
I'm a I
oh
I would
that's a
say
podcast.
I'll just go for it. I don't know. I miss you too.
Oh God. Anyway, DZ, I hope that doesn't make you not want to watch the show anymore. But we will be back as far as the podcast goes. It's just going to be a little longer. We've got some stuff we got to definitely finish up first.
Yeah,
There's 12 episodes. So here's the thing: the orbs. When we first ran into the orbs, you know, we'll go back to a retrospective here because you can go back and watch this. It's all been documented from day one. We were lucky enough to have, the podcast. It's all audio podcast, I believe, at that time. There might be some video, but I don't remember exactly. It's been almost 200 episodes back. But
yeah,
if you go back, you're going to find some when we start talking about the orbs. And um, you're going to hear me come up with this crazy thing that I start saying after some time about what if there's a reason that some of these researchers had all these weird things happen to them in the past, right? And then I think I'd said to a few people, few of our research friends, you might want to just invest in a radiation detector, just
yeah.
just because because we'd started at this point. That's what got me interested in this. Stumbled across the show trying to figure out weird stuff, then started seeing more weird stuff. And we're going to talk about that too. So keep that up there or star that or
I'm gonna
something.
star it so we don't lose
Yeah, I
it.
want to come back to that, Terry. Um, so we're out there and we started getting that weird radiation stuff. Now, unfortunately, I think the second time we got it, here's what happened. The first time we got it, you saw that was a little clip at the end of the last Paranormal Horizons where Joe's like, it's weird. I don't like it, but it's weird. Doing one of those things, the dirt thing he does, right? So yeah,
I
doing
can't help
that.
myself.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a pattern. But so that was from years ago. And um then we're like, well, that's weird. That is weird. So we started taking the Geiger with us where we went. And the next time we went out, I think we went out to Wineberry at that time, I think. And we went up and we were looking around there and we got something weird there because at the time we didn't have the tri-field yet. We had the mel meter and the mel meter went off, which is saying something because
Right.
that's gauze. Unfortunately, this was in the very beginning of us trying to really collect that data, and we didn't have anything to really record it with. We didn't have a lot of our big equipment or big gear. That
Yeah,
came
we hadn't
later.
acquired it yet.
Hmm.
We hadn't produced enough Mothman
Evidence.
minis.
Well, that's true. And we didn't really produce enough evidence at that point to say, could this be, a
Yeah,
repeating thing? And I think it was after Mothman that year is when we did do that.
it was.
And we're like, yeah, we're gonna invest some dollars here and try to figure out what this is. No intent to ever be able to show this many people any of this data. That's the crazy part. There's the thing Terry was talking about. This is the weird synchronicity kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, we have this vast library of all of this weird stuff.
Mhm.
And we're like, well, put it on our YouTube, which is what we did. We put a little 17-minute, 20-minute clips there and there, whatever, little mini productions. And never thinking any more of it than that, really, because everybody likes to see the fake stuff. They don't want to see the real stuff. It's a fact. It's 100% fact. We even talked about that a few times.
Yeah.
Like you go out and I'll see a video with a fake UFO. There was a time when they did the fake lives. Remember those, Joe?
Oh,
When they were
100%.
doing the fake lives?
They'd run them live. It'd
Yeah.
be a bot running it. And
Yeah. Yeah. You'd run the live. And
yeah,
what it was a fake, literally a fake live. And they cracked down on those, thank God, because those people were getting rich. And they were watching that stuff over top of actual real investigations, real people out there in the field trying to do stuff.
mhm.
Well, we've been out in the field trying to do stuff
Making a
for
ton of money.
years. Oh yeah.
Ton of money.
Oh yeah. 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 And I mean, my God, I remember the first day we made our first $10. I felt like we had struck it rich. We were just, that was it, We, and it's awesome because we turned right around, as I recall. Everything that we got, we turned around and bought more equipment, or we needed something that we had to get. I remember that one time we needed the tri-field. You remember the time when we were going to get the tri-field, and it was like I think 170 or whatever dollars it was at the time.
Yeah. At the time, it was like I think 185 because it was the new
Something.
digital version.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
just came
So
out.
so it just came out, and we wanted this thing, and it was just like, oh, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens at the next show. So we go to the next show, and my God, if we didn't make just about the right amount to get that thing. So we
Yeah.
turned right around and got that. Sure, we went in a hole. I mean, by the time we paid for our gas and paid for our food, we went in a
Yeah.
hole, but we ended up getting some really good data with that piece of machinery. And to
Yeah.
this day, that thing has paid for itself
Oh, yeah.
more than anything. So we do have people who ask all the time about some of the equipment we use. And if you come to the workshop, you can see it. But here's the thing: if you come to the workshop, you're going to see me holding that tri-field up. Get a tri-field. I love the tri-field. I think it's one of the best
Yeah.
ones out there. You got a lot of stuff. Okay, so stumbled upon the show, trying to figure out the weird stuff, then started seeing more weird stuff. Literally happens to so many
Yeah.
people that I'm starting to wonder if there's like this weird X factor, right, Joe?
Well, we had talked about it again. You're gonna have to dig back over 200
Yeah.
episodes at this point. Where we talked about the lighthouse or a beacon effect,
Mm-hmm.
where once you began looking for it or once you experienced it,
You called it
suddenly,
a weird magnet in the beginning.
yeah, we did call it a weird magnet, that
Mm-hmm.
it started drawing to you. You
Yep.
started having more of these experiences, um, or or having strange phenomena take place around you. So it's and this isn't anything new either. This is something that people have talked about and investigated and like looked into individuals. And then now it still happens. Like, I mean, it's just more noticeable because it's on camera. Linda Sigmund said, I saw a square yellow orb in my bathroom and then was clear to say, but not in the pot.
Well, on this show, you just never know, Linda.
You never know. I mean, sometimes the yellow cakes and
Good
the
clarification. Shut up, Joe. Shut up,
So-
Joe. I can't talk any louder to drown you out. Okay, anyway. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. Okay. You watch it.
Right. Linda.
Go ahead.
So with when that happened, did you see anything else other than just like was it 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional? Any kind of other weird stuff going on in the house after or before? And then Angie said we saw a UAP at the TNT area.
Yeah, we did. You guys had a great. I mean, we got that on video. One of you guys got it on video.
Well, I think Angie went up more recently.
Oh, so you saw the other one? Yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah, that's right.
And then Jen says, if it's a square, wouldn't it be a cube? Technically, it could be. But some of these images, some of these things that we've seen, they do look almost like 2-dimensional.
Which is absolutely possible when you take into consideration the whole multi-dimensional aspect of this. A two-dimensional
transmogrification.
a two-dimensional object transferring itself through 3D space. Would
one day we're going to record that and make like an echoey version so we can just hit it and play it.
I'm probably going to do that.
But then catching back up down here, Shar, my father of 75 years, tells a story of ball lightning that came through the kitchen door and out the front door as a kid in the 1950s. They had the doors open and no ACs those days.
Wow.
That's wild.
Isn't it? I mean, we know ball lightning exists. So that's a real thing. I've seen it. It's real.
Octopus says, I know you guys are special from the special and real from the moment I gave you a listen. Now you get to show and the real special stuff you've found, like when I have to wear a helmet to go anywhere.
You don't know how special, Octopus. You don't know how special.
But no, like for real, you guys have listened to us. A lot of people found the audio version of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we would mention, if you're watching on the audio, you definitely want to jump over and check out this because there's a picture. Yeah. We're describing a picture. We're going to show you the picture. And for folks like you that jumped over, yes, more of you need to come.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We get that, we'd be doing good, wouldn't we?
And then Linda, I don't know why she said this, but I'm just going to echo it. Dang it, Tony.
I like it too. Everybody, please repeat after us. As Linda says, quote, dang it, Tony.
Oh, man. Tony says X Factor was a mid comic book series. It really was. X Factor was just kind of like weird. They needed an arc to fulfill some other part of a story and had to make 12 issues of it just to fit it into right here to make this one part of another story make sense. Oh, man. Then Jay says it's like the double slit experiment. The measuring, observing seems to attract odd things.
Yep, that's right. That's right. It falls right into
Linda says
physics.
It came in the bathroom and left. Like when you say it left, did it like just it was there and wasn't there? Or did it show up in the bathroom and then exit the bathroom?
Move out, yeah.
Trackway says, I went looking for Bigfoot and I found just about everything but Bigfoot.
Well, we know how that goes, don't we?
Yep.
Eyes
coming in like a freaking
crowd.
ICBM smashing into things. Thank you,
crowd.
Oz.
The big one. Gets the big one. the next big thing that we're at the end while we're recording, I'm going to try to get the crowd to actually start screaming wild and weird, so
Oh, there we go.
we can use it for something like that. That'd be great,
And
wouldn't
use
it?
that as the background.
Wouldn't it be great? That'd be awesome. I
Rob
know
says I
these guys would do
downloaded
it.
satellite tracker app. I was able to catch the ISS going over twice, but how do you see it to catch the satellites directly overhead? I'm technologically challenged.
Okay, so there's a switch that goes to live view or something, I think,
Yeah.
and once you do that, it'll show you the paths on those, on the satellites, Rob.
Larry says I got home last night and was sitting on the couch, had to finish my schoolwork, and almost sounded like something slammed into my back door and tried to open it.
I could have
Yikes.
been I could have been whisked away to Zeta Reticuli and not known last night. That's how passed out I was.
Pat said we need a shut up Joe graphic.
Oh, I like that one, Pat. Everyone is in favor of Pat has brought forth the motion that we need a shut up Joe animation. All in favor? I'm going to
Okay,
second it
Linda
myself.
says it came back and went into the wall.
Okay. Yeah. So it just right through the wall. And again, we hear that with ghost stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is pretty typical.
Angie said we also saw a huge crane flying at night. Spoiler, it does not look like Mothman.
Or a pterodactyl. I don't know. They could look like a pterodactyl sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Trackway was talking about the when we were at the workshop, had the possible glowing eyes of the bunker. So Octopus says I saw something for about a second and a half one day, just floating upward right above my head. I was outside next to the house with my son, and I pointed and said, "Look at," and didn't know what.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's so cool.
That could be a blessing. Clip transmogrification in Echo.
I think it should be. But we should get Steve to do it.
Steve.
Yeah.
That
Steve.
would be great.
Yeah. I think he actually does like some hand movement when he says it too. So
Yeah, it's kind of like he does.
yeah. So I think maybe we might do that.
Oz, thanks
Thank
again,
you
by the
so
way,
much,
Oz.
Oz.
You're awesome.
Multiple blessings.
You are fantastic. Then let's see who
I may
else?
buy a new instrument to play for you guys when
Holy
we
smokes,
get
Oz.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's
Holy smokes,
amazing.
Oz.
Yeah.
LR said when I was working midnights, I would drive all the back roads hoping to see something and never did. Yeah.
Well, there's the thing, LR. I swear to you, I used to say this and it was true. I used to say that when we went out looking for stuff, we never saw it. It was when we went out and we weren't prepared, we would see it, which was true then. But now that we have the ability to see it, it almost seems like it wants to be seen, which is just, it's weird. That's the best word I can put for that.
The other thing you got to take into consideration too, LR, when you're driving back roads at night, is the way our eyes react to light.
Mhm.
You've got your headlights on and everything else around those headlights looks extra dark. So there could be something there and we just miss it. Linda said it was there, moved out, came back, went past my left side and into the wall. I tore up the area below it and around it and nothing. Welcome to West Virginia.
Right. Okay, so guys, be sure to definitely comment, obviously, like, share, all that fun stuff, and leave some emotes and reactions on here because that gets seen by the algorithm and pushes it out to more people to see. So yeah, let's keep it.
Oz
it
showed
going.
up and said, "Sorry, I'm late," and then hit the $50 drop there. And Trackway, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I just saw it. Yeah, Trackway said, "I should be late more often."
I should be late more often. Well, guys, I tried to share this over on Instagram, but apparently I don't know what happened. It doesn't look like it's worked. So I don't I don't know.
Anita's in the house. What's going on? Tech problems. Tech problems.
Yep.
It
So
be that way.
I don't know. It says it's working, but it's absolutely not working. It's not streaming. At least I don't see it. If you guys see it, let me know. If not,
Well, I don't see anything's popped up.
nothing popped up on Instagram, right? For Wild and Weird.
We're at 51 minute. Let me check. It should still be up. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, it says it's running, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, it's because you might be because it's you. You know what I mean?
Right. But I've seen it
Let me
before.
look
That's the
for
weird part.
Oh,
Yeah, I can usually see it. It usually gives me a little notification that we're live, and I did not see that at all. So
it is
nothing,
not.
right?
It is not live.
No, it's not. No. Well, we tried to go live, guys. Over
Well,
there for those friends and folks over there
that's a thing.
on the
Sorry.
Instagram side. Let's see if that's. Wait a minute. Hey, it's working. It just started working.
Pat said I would like for you to go back to the flute or the metal drum thing. I can't think of the name of.
Oh yeah, the tongue drum. I'm Pat. I'm actually thinking about getting a pro model of that thing. I'm just trying to raise some. And this is not for you guys, so do not start throwing money. I'm trying to raise some funds over on my end to pick one of those up. I want to get one that's actually in key and not a cheaper version, so that it'll actually sound. I can play some music for you. Is what I'm trying to say. Like it'll
Man, I
actually.
used to have an awesome hand drum. That thing sounded magical. And then
Get a painted show.
it was a steel hand drum, man. And that thing got a dent in it one time when I was moving and completely ruined it.
I wonder if I got anything down here. I usually have stuff down here. Oh, there's an alien mask. That's neat.
Let's see.
That shouldn't surprise anyone.
Anita said, my honest opinion for the reason for the hitchhiker effect is because once your third eye starts being aware and stimulated by things, it's a new sense and you can perceive things for a bit.
I mean, it could be. It could
It's
be
possible, but like, what if that's like a physical thing? Like, there are people
that.
who've
Right.
seen Bigfoot, like a flesh and blood Bigfoot kind of thing,
There it is. I got it working.
and then we'll start seeing more of that. And I don't from that aspect, I don't think that has as much.
I don't know. I don't know. Gary Nolan said, in his paper that he was not sure if we were born with whatever that was between the what was it, the
Oh, you're talking about those?
yeah,
That gland,
the brain. Yeah,
piece
right.
of your brain.
Right. So he wasn't sure if that was people were born like that, right? Or if it was a process, in his words, of some sort of like Kundalini like effect. If that's the case, exactly what she just said.
Yeah.
But we don't know, because that's the whole causation and argument. Is that what
LR
caused
said,
it?
LR suggested didgeridoo is your new instrument. You can have mine.
Okay.
I've got a 6-foot didgeridoo upstairs. That thing's a beast. I used to play it on stage too. There was one song we used it for.
I can probably still play the flute. I don't know. We'll have to try it and find out. But anyway, for whatever reason, you Instagram folks, welcome to the show now, because I don't know why, but
It said we were live. It showed it.
it
like
said we were
in the
live,
menu.
but we were not live in it for whatever reason. So whatever, technical difficulties, aliens, I don't know, call it what you want, but we're here now. So I'll say the same thing I said at the beginning of the show originally that you didn't get to see, unless you want to go back and watch it. We are over on our YouTube over here at Wild and Weird WV. If you want to leave comments and whatnot, I am watching those comments. Joe is watching those comments over here. So please feel free to join in the discussion like everyone else has. I will be switching back and forth here, trying to watch what's going on here. But if you have any questions and whatnot, please feel free to ask them. Oh, actually, someone did ask a question on Instagram just now, Joe.
That was quick.
That was very quick. Edge of the Headlights one says, has anyone thought of using section walking to find Bigfoot / puppy dude? Yeah, I don't, if for, Edge, if you don't know, I don't say that word. So go ahead. Anyone.
th- there, I believe you're talking about like a search and rescue style uh method, if I'm correct. And let's
Well,
see,
section
just to make
walking,
sure.
I think that's your grid search pattern is
Yeah,
what
it's a
you're
grid
talking
search.
about.
It's
Yeah.
where you've designated a certain area, and there have been people who've done that and walked through pond barrens.
Hmm.
There have been people who have done that and walked through forests. The only problem is you have to do that in an area that you can reach the full span of.
Hmm. So
Oftentimes in forests, like you just don't have that capability, at
I
least
was,
not in the forests around here. We live in a state here in West Virginia. For us personally, we're like 87% forested. That's almost the whole state.
yeah, I was going
And
to ask you, what's the like the practicality of it? That's what I'm trying to say, Joe. What's
it's good if you're looking for tracks,
uh-huh.
honestly. Because it's one of the things I actually taught at one of the workshops, the first
Yeah.
workshop. When you find an area, map it
Hmm.
out, set it out, and you walk it and find stuff. Larry and I did that when we found a thing
Yeah.
that
Well,
hadn't aired
we
yet. Almost
we did
slipped
that at
up.
the very first
The very
Bigfoot
first
workshop
workshop.
that we did
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah,
Because I
we
remember
did.
you guys taking them out on the crime scene type thing, right? That's
Yep,
what that was.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's been used. We've personally used it. It's just to do it effectively, you have to have a space where you can completely cover that span. Like, say if somebody allegedly saw a Bigfoot or a dogman like entity
Hmm.
go into a small patch of forest. When I say a small patch, I'm talking probably a square acre, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you could get enough people and march straight through it. And it would have to be an island of forest in the middle of a big farming field. You could go through that, and if something was in there, then it should technically still be there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But when you're dealing with a uh, you know wilderness, it's really the main effectiveness is for track finding, hair, like trace evidence collection.
Trace. Hmm. Yeah, trying to find the trace seems to be the key.
Then Danny said, "People, just not enough help." Yeah, yep. There's not enough of that anywhere, man. This is a very niche thing. You've got two or three people spread out across 100+ miles, and that's where you're at. Because you'll do a big event or something and draw people in,
Yeah,
and that's like one day a year.
it's true. I mean, that is the truth. That's literally the truth, and it becomes more of a entertainment thing, right? And
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it comes down to. And then you've got the real serious researchers who are just, if they find a good event, they're gonna, man, they count down the days.
yeah.
The 365 days. We just, all right, and they start setting the clock. They look forward to it so much at that point because it really does. It comes down to just that. I think you're right. You guys are all right
Shar
on that.
says Shar says Bigfoot smells us miles away. I think a drone would be a better idea. Drones are noisy as all get out.
Yep.
They are effective. I was on
Yep.
a trip where we caught one on thermal drone. The guys flying the drone landed the drone and erased the footage because they didn't save it before they turned the thing off to move to the next location.
And that was a professional.
Yes, this was a $25,000 drone with a professional group flying it that was out of the Everglades.
Yeah.
So,
Those things happen. I mean, that's
yeah,
the thing. There's weird stuff happens. And I don't I don't even know. I mean, I'm still trying to process weird stuff that we've had happen. So I can't speak to someone else's, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, there's just a lot going on out there.
Anita said, I think we get so many people or so many more reports these days just because so many more people are looking
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking.
And we're talking, right? We're having these conversations
Yeah.
that people were afraid to have for years. You know, let's call it for what it is. They were afraid to have these conversations for years. So yeah.
Pat
And
said, so if we just burn the whole forest down, we can find Bigfoot right away. Theoretically, if you're dealing with a flesh and blood entity, depending on how hot the fire got, you would at least find remains.
well, I got to say this at this point, there's no guarantee of that. Not at this point, because we don't know what we're dealing with.
Octopus says Bigfoot will floop into his penultimate form and float away amidst the smoke.
I'm just going to say, you know,
Laughing,
I don't know.
laughing at the humans like Frieza would.
Yeah,
Humans.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff out there.
Terry says so much of the strangeness seems to be on purpose. There seems to be intention to it, but danged if I know what it is.
Yes, we will agree on that. Absolutely. At this point, I think you're right on with that. I think there is.
Trackway brings up a very, very valid point. Knowing how to look is important too.
Oh,
it takes a ton of dedication and patience to master any discipline, let alone looking for the unknown, which there is no like
guideline,
set protocol or guideline to do. Like
right.
we can do all we can. We can scream from the top of our lungs, protocol.
Yeah.
And we can have our own team's protocol. But having a uniform code,
not gonna happen. That's not going to happen.
Not when you got people running into every haunted house going, I just got possessed. I got scratched. Something's burning me. Did you hear that? You know?
Yep.
Not when that's going on TV.
But it's true.
You're just not going to get that.
It's true. And that's the whole thing. And again, you know, there's a way to make there's a way to have an interesting and very entertaining story, right? And tell the truth and present the data. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Honestly, that was the stipulation that we had with this. It's like, well, what can we do? Anything you want? Okay, we're going to tell the truth. I mean, maybe people won't like that. Maybe they don't. Maybe the truth is boring.
Jay said, not to make my TikToks. It doesn't.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man. Ike says, ever experienced something so wild and weird that even the Twilight Zone would give it a standing ovation?
Yeah, I have.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's about that. Yeah.
And with any luck, there will be a repetition of it at some point in the near future.
I mean, there are experiments. That's all I can say about that. So
Pat said, so in order to find Bigfoot, one must achieve a higher plane of consciousness and attain omniscience.
That might help.
I'd use that for gold first, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Bigfoot's cool, and I'm clearly a fan. But like
gold,
money'd be nice.
Yeah, gold would be good. You can do a lot of research with the right amount of gold.
Oh yeah.
And I'm putting that up there for the folks out there who might
on Instagram land.
Yeah, on Instagram land. They may not know how to find us out here. So I want to put that up. Yeah, that's exactly what Edge was talking about. Form a giant square and walk toward each other, making it smaller. So basically, that's
grid search.
It's kind of like grid search. Yeah, you're looking at every possible thing and narrowing it down, which is, it's theoretically possible, but we're also dealing with something that is very aware of what you're doing. And at this point, I mean, at this point, it seems to me that if you're not supposed to see it, you're not going to see it.
Unless you poke hard enough.
Yeah.
Larry said, my wife just messaged me to say she was at work and then said, all hell the Sky Daddy.
And TG Hewinan, I think it was over here, answered that as well and said, you just can't do that in West Virginia over big tracts of terrain. It's just too vast and rugged. That, and you'll fall over a hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Quick.
seen it. I've seen that. So yeah.
Anita said, I still get challenged by my friends for the beliefs, and I tell them just to come out with me and see what they still believe.
Yeah, right. And I've
One
seen
way to
that
do it.
happen. Yeah, I've seen that happen multiple times too with people who are just like, I don't believe it. Well, you don't have to believe it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you believe. This isn't about belief. It's about seeing. It's about experiencing. And so many have. And you get the people who are just, they don't want to believe it at all. It just wrecks their notion of what this is. And
Adam responds back with, all hell Larry's wife.
So I'm trying to watch IG over here. If you guys have questions, like I said, just feel free to bring them in there or come on over and join us as we're having the live conversation right now. Okay. I think we're caught up there. We've got people sending stuff.
Dark Wolf said, Linda said, when we meet you in Point Pleasant soon, we're going to take you to the barber and have you embrace the sheen. Mama said it will be even better looking. I really do need to hit the razor soon. I do it once a month. And I'm coming out on that month. I've got like my old man get off my lawn haircut going on right now. I'm the character. I look currently. My haircut is the same haircut as the guy from King of the Hill that wears
oh my god,
the beater every day.
I just saw that. Thanks.
Oh man. Jay said, wasn't there a story from Texas in the late 1800s where they went into the woods with a line of people and flushed out a wild woman? There are stories of that. There was where my house sits, they did that and they flushed out a wild man. And so these stories were popular in the 1800s. They would get together and they would have these mobs that would line up and go. And normally it was after one of these wild men, wild women stole a head of cattle or a goat and killed it subsequently. Yeah. And then they went out after him.
I just wonder how many people were hanged back in the day for stealing cattle that they didn't steal.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just saying. I mean,
that were innocent, truly innocent. And when they were saying, I didn't do it,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. Just things to think about.
Tony said, can we get some Get Off Joe Produced Lawn t-shirts?
No, not yet. Not yet. There are other shirts. There may be a special shirt coming very, very shortly. Keep your eyes peeled on the group because that's where it'll probably be announced first.
Oh goodness, this is being fun. This is a good one.
Yeah, told you it's gonna be a good one. It's a fun one.
Hey, we love you and your mom too. You guys are awesome people.
Okay.
Pat brings up a valid point.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Pat brings up a good point. The whole whoa. I'm gonna not. There we go. Wild man or homeless person. What's the difference? There's back then there might not have been. That was a real issue too because you'd have these mistaken hermits. They'd call them wild men as well, and a lot of times because they just got sick of society or had some kind of mental illness and would go out and just live alone, and they would kind of go feral, for lack of a better term. So it's very possible too that with that, Pat. Then Scott says, story from the late 50s near Carter Caves State Park where they flushed out a white Bigfoot and a guy was injured. Oh, wow. Do you have anything else on that one, Scott, or any kind of like database leads or where that was at? Would maybe being in the 50s, is there any chance that that was in the green database? Dark Wolf, have either of you seen any videos or pictures of this year's Biggie that might be legit? Yes. Yeah. That's yeah, I have. They seem very they're not floating around on the internet either. That's the bad part, but the good part at the same time. They're not floating around the internet. Uh, these are pictures that Cliff Barrickman showed me off of his phone. Um, Cliff actually showed me a video back in May that me and Ron both popped out of our seat for. If that tells you anything, we do get excited about things, but like when it comes to some stuff, we're like, oh yeah, man, that's really cool. That's really. But when we saw that video, we're like, hold on, wait a minute. We popped up. I grabbed his phone and I rewound it, and he's like, I figured that's what we were gonna do. It's very, very compelling footage, and it's nothing that we've ever seen before as far as like any kind of a suit, so to speak. This would have to been like a unreal proportions for one, but like functionality and the way it moved through the woods. Wow. Yeah. Very impressed. Oh, let's see. Ike, West Virginia. It's a place where legends come to life and strange becomes normal. 100% it is. That is an absolute fact, Ike. And we're excited to get back out there with you too, man. We got some stuff coming up. You're definitely going to be on deck with. Anita said we still have renegade Cherokee and folks who just want to live away from people around here. Yeah, there's right there. Actually, there's a reservation that not a lot of people know about there in southern West Virginia, and the only reason that I know about it is because we shared a gate. The state parks shared a gate with them, and we would have to ask permission to come over onto the land if there was any kind of like forest fire, anything like that had crossed onto their side. We would still manage that for them, and we had to ask permissions. And if there was a tree that maybe had fallen down on the perimeter fence that they had put up for the property line, we would ask if it crossed over onto their property. We would ask permission before we drug it off, and we'd give them options to keep the wood. Miss Trackway said, my retirement plan is to live in a little stone hut in the woods with several cats and cultivate my witch image. Then that is the way to go. Be the cryptid you want to see in the woods. Pat says Pharaoh tends to imply the loss of humanity that is not usually accurate. That is true. That is true. Some of the wild men are the people that they call feral humans that live down in the Smokies in that part of the national forest. They're just hermits. They call them feral humans because it does tend to imply the loss of the whole human aspects where they've gone more animalistic. But that's when you're looking at a textbook terminology. Anyway, a lot of people use feral to describe like a lot of different things at this point. But yeah, you're right. It does imply the complete loss of humanity.
What in the world?
What? You got audio? I have your audio. Octopus says there's some legit Biggie footage out there, some from Canada, I forget when, but some from Florida in the swamps. Yeah, the one from Florida in Big Cypress, that one is a trip. I know which one you're talking about there. That one is a trip. I don't know what to make of that one. Like, I personally would not be in the water that deep because I have been in water that deep and gotten up and just had been eaten up by mud bugs. But yeah. Did Cliff indicate why that footage is not being shared with the public? Oh, yeah, 100%. The landowners do not want to get overwhelmed. That's it. They don't want the attention on their property. They own a big swath of land and they do not want people on it or trying to get to it. So that and I can respect that. I wouldn't want all kind because as soon as something like it happens, I mean it's happened with some of our areas. Canola State Forest has it's been on small town monster stuff and finding Bigfoot and all kinds of other things over the years, and it will go through these waves where suddenly there will be a massive uptick in these folks going out there and doing stuff. I'll find bags of plaster sometimes out on the trails.
Check,
So
check, check. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Cool.
So then let's see. Oz says, any idea where I can find a good used cauldron and some newt eyes? Ethically obtained, of course.
Oh, that's just funny.
Scott said the story came from a guy who was a Boy Scout camping with a troop at Carter Caves, and the park ranger came and warned the troop leaders of the incident. Locals did a drive-through due to livestock deprivation. Wow.
Hey, we got some more folks joined over there on the Instagram side. Welcome, guys. I can see you over here. I'm switching back and forth between our YouTube
Shar
and
said,
Instagram to keep
my
up.
luck if I stumble up on a moonshiner while looking for Bigfoot. Y'all ever worry about the safety? Yeah, yes and no. Usually when I'm out in the woods, I'm not alone, and if especially like sometimes I don't have other human people with me, but I'm not alone. I do have a thing in the bag for such occasions to arise, and I'm prior military service, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Well, where I grew up, if there were moonshiners, they would just offer it to you.
Bingo.
So
Same here. Like over in Boone County where I grew up, it was the same deal. It's like, look, kid, here's a pint.
yeah. But yeah, you do have to be careful. He's right.
Now, like
Yeah, that's correct.
moonshiners, I do not worry about personally.
It's the others, but
It's the
yeah,
other
illicit
things with people
practices.
making stuff that I'm more
Yeah,
concerned about.
yeah.
Because my grandpa was a moonshiner.
Well, I think all of our grandpas were moonshiners
I
over in
think
West
so.
Virginia. So we can trace that back to one of them at least.
Anita said, my research area has gotten too peoply to do research openly, but I'd go to observe and take a sketchbook, and they have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
when you
Scott
open
said a
those
young man had
areas.
broken. Oh, this is the kid that got hurt. Young man, or not kid, the guy. Young man had broken ribs, and a shotgun barrel was bent, and they lost nerve after that. After doing some detective field work, I found out that it was an older guy I rode motorcycles with. Oh, wow. So you actually knew the guy that got hurt. That right there that's cool. We need to talk about that one in person, man. Yes, exactly. Then Linda said, I found somebody's Mary Jane in a pot, but just not here. And when I was investigating. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens out there. But yeah, this is pretty poignant right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this happens a lot, by the way, especially, in areas that get I guess overrun, right? Because people are like, yeah, I want to go and do that. Or like it happened at Salt Fork. They opened it up to be basically it's tourist attraction, I mean, like, come on in and see Bigfoot. Whereas for years, like Glenn said, they didn't want you talking about Bigfoot, but now it's like, sure, come on in, and of course it's still there. We heard people telling the stories, but you know what else we heard? We heard more stories of the orbs while we were there this year than ever before. That was really refreshing too, to have them come out and tell those stories, but and openly. But that does tend to happen. So sometimes the phenomena will actually change in respect to that. At least it seems to. I don't know if it does, like if that's real or if it's just us observing that, you know what I'm saying? That part of the data and kind of drawing conclusions. But it does seem that sometimes that it will change.
Yeah, Pat says people cooking are more worrisome.
Mm-hmm.
Darkwolf said, "Did you guys ever have a chance to meet Billy Humphrey? Les's interview and investigation was fantastic." Yeah, I've met him. I have met him, and that's all I'm gonna say. Les is cool though.
Yep.
I love Les. Then Anita says, "My problem is new fitness center nearby." Oh
There you
yeah,
go. There you go. Right there.
6 Mile Mountain Run is now popular.
There you go.
That'll do it.
Boom.
LR said, "I saw Twisters last night. They made a point to show the amateur sword chasers flooding the area. Not too different. Good.
Did
You're
they
probably
really?
right." And I was actually today. There was a tornado that happened this past weekend, real life, and this thing was absolutely bonkers huge. And there were the guy that posted the video on YouTube today was just like, I've been doing storm chasing for 20 plus years and I could not believe what I was experiencing out there. And he was complaining about there was this whole fleet of like random vehicles that had flashers on their windows and they were storm chasers, but then they were bugging out way too early. They were nowhere near the storm and they're like slowing down and they were like, go around them, go around them. And
They
and
were
it was
they
just
were getting their TikTokers. That's all it was. They were just
exactly
that's
because I
what they
mean
were
this
doing.
storm was so big you were able to be a mile away and it filled up your phone screen and looked you right up on top of it.
Jay, you got a new career right there.
Bingo. Scott Holbrook, Salt Fork realized they could make money off Bigfoot, no copyright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, why not? That
And then
yeah,
Trackway said that's why I avoid Salt Fork.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, Salt Fork itself is real sketchy. Like I don't trust hardly anything that comes out of the park itself when it comes to Bigfoot. But there's areas around the park that are very interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Anita said, I have noticed interesting changes though. Still signs of the Bigfoot, but not as much in the open or stick structures being made with tree trunks. It's branches now, like they're whispering. It's interesting. Jen, I watch the Weather Channel with chasers, and it's an active area. It does get flooded with others. Yeah, like it,
Yeah,
especially hurricane stuff too. People that go down there and get trapped in hurricane storm surge,
yeah,
morons.
yeah.
Trackway, I never did chase a storm, but I did spend the night at Holiday Inn Express once.
That's about right. That's accurate.
Call
Yeah,
back
that's
to
accurate.
last week. Good job. I hear you.
Yep,
I hear
that's
you.
accurate. That's accurate. Folks out in Instagram land, if you are still out there, feel free to ask your questions. I am cruising back and forth here. Just be patient. Trying to keep up with everybody so that we can answer your questions or come over, like I said, and join us. The conversation is taking place right now live on Wild and Weird WV over on YouTube.
Pat said, just so y'all know, there's no space Wookiees at my house. I need my backyard. I don't need my backyard getting too peoply. We're gonna give you all the people you can handle here in September, Pat. Don't worry. I just turned my eyelid inside out.
Oh, wow. That's a fun trick. That
Yeah,
was awesome.
that wasn't fun.
What's wrong with you?
I didn't mean to. I was just scratching my eye.
Okay, sure.
It just happens, man.
Yeah, okay.
It's like
Well,
walking through the living room at night and it's just destined to slam your pinky toe into something. Copy that, Trackway. Copy
okay.
that.
Okay. We'll be having a look at that.
So we're looking at all the way this phenomena forces you to challenge beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So while we're doing that, smash that like button.
Mm-hmm.
But we're out here and I'm a prime suspect of this, okay? Like I it happened to me, okay? It happened to
Mm-hmm.
me. And Ron caught it on video. And we were out there doing a follow up from a Bigfoot sighting, alleged Bigfoot sighting,
That's
and
right.
it wound up not being Bigfoot, um, but definitely was something. And it it was just it was wild,
Yeah.
and it forced me to change my forced me to change what I think about the phenomena and how it's included in all this. And it does that for a lot of people. Some people make it out the other side of that and some don't. How many people do you think, Ron, that don't come out of that on the other side and they just throw their hands up and quit?
Oh man. Um, a lot because honestly, like I said, it okay, so you got the people who do what you said, quit, or you got the ones who go overboard.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Yeah,
where it's
the ones
at.
that go overboard are the ones that are they're hard to rein back in.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you might come back around to it, but and if you do quit, you may come back over there too and be like, I might want to know a little bit more about this. And it's okay to ask the questions. And I think that that's where we're at right now. We need to give ourselves these permissions to ask the questions. Is this normal? Well, the data says that whether it's normal or not, that's just a term we make up to make ourselves feel better, by the way. Um, whether it's normal or not, it is happening. And as you say, the data does not care. It doesn't care if it makes you feel bad or uncomfortable or if it challenges you to think outside the box. That's not its purpose. It doesn't care. It's just the data. You can look at it or you can leave it, but it's not going to change. It'll
Yep.
always be there.
Yeah, you can't make it something else.
So happy I found the show. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're glad you found it too. We got some new joiners over here. We got MLH418. They joined. Hello, MLH. Love, Love Daddy one joined just now. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for
Welcome
joining
aboard
us from the Instagrams.
the land of Instagram. Welcome.
Dark Wolf says, what do you guys think of the stories of the Bigfoot sightings during Mount St. Helens eruption
Oh, that
in the
was,
80s?
I remember those stories. Yeah.
There
Actually,
were a ton of those stories, and Larry found space for the Wookiees in Pat's backyard, calling down the the majestic. Thank you, Larry.
that's for you, Larry.
Trackway says it's pouring here. Is West Virginia still in a drought emergency? Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
dry.
it's really dry. So
Wow.
dry that like the ground is dusty.
Yeah. There's no tracks here. Let's put it that way, Trackway.
Yeah, well, Beth actually sent me a really good track today. Okay.
Wow, really?
Yeah, but it is so you can't do anything with it. The ground is just dusty and dry. The only thing that makes out this track is the crumpled up leaf litter. Like
Wow.
it's so dry that it just broke it up. You can see that through the fragmented leaves.
Yeah.
And like
Nothing
it was
castable.
a good one. It'd have been a great one if it was wet,
Yeah, right. That's what I
you
mean. You're not
know.
gonna you're not gonna get any tracks right now out here. Not from what I've seen.
But to go back, the Bigfoot sightings around Mount St. Helens in 1980 with
Mhm,
the
mhm.
eruption, man, there were a lot of stories. There were people that claimed that they saw people hauling things out on
Really?
helicopters and life flights and things like that. I don't know what to make of those, to be completely honest. I wasn't there, and I don't know the veracity of some of these stories. Um, they're possible, as possible as everything else is, I think. But I don't know because there were a lot of pictures around that, and you would think of the bodies that were found and all that stuff. There'd be something you could identify something with. but who knows? It could be even covered up. It's a big conspiracy around the
Yeah.
Bigfoot world.
Yeah.
During the eruption, there's a bunch of them being recovered and living ones that were found injured, things like that.
Well, I would like to believe this one of all other ones, Dark Wolf, because it actually shows that someone cared
Yeah,
enough to do that.
just humanity.
So that would be, if I had to choose one of these to believe, it would be that one.
Yeah, I agree. Shar says, "Do the Native Americans of West Virginia have a Bigfoot story to tell?" Indeed, they do. There were quite a few, going all the way back to, uh, Fort Ancient, Adena, whatever you want to call them, Hopewell. It changes all the time. People, people in the museums can't make up their mind who's who, when the time starts, when it began, when it ended. But it goes all the way back to there, and in the the Lenape had the Meesing, which is the spirit of the woods. It was more of a supernatural entity, kind of Bigfooty like, hairy creature. Then there were mentions of headless giants, and you got to think like headless giants. It's not always, we walk upright. Bigfoot walks more hunched over and more muscular, allegedly. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes, so I can describe this was what I can see where the headless giant thing comes in.
Oh, I can definitely
Um,
see that. Yeah.
and Ron's seen the big black mass,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. You can connect the dots there. Then there were Cherokee mentions as well. West Virginia was a territory. The southeast portion wasn't. It was viewed as it was sacred. Certain parts were sacred. Certain parts were cursed land, something like that. So they didn't live in that area necessarily. But the whole upheaval zone, the Allegheny Plateau, the ridge lines, all that was populated by Algonquin tribes and Cherokee and all those. So that, there are plenty of different Bigfoot stories from the First Nations people here, and we get to partake in those at the Thunder in the Mountains powwow in October. We get to share our stories, and we get their stories shared with us, and it's phenomenal. So if you're in Fayetteville, if you're in West Virginia, around the area, and you want to make it out to the Thunder Mountain powwow, highly, highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite places. Anita said one of my acquaintances teaches college level parapsych classes that centered on the psychological effects of encountering the phenomena.
That's nice. That's really nice. Parapsychology classes are very nice.
Let's see. Jude Cole, have you guys ever explored any Mothman phenomena at Point Pleasant? Well, Ron.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, what can we talk about? Let's see. First of all, the Mothman phenomena at Point Pleasant. Yeah, we have. It will.
Our world headquarters
Yeah,
is actually above the Mothman Museum.
yeah, it is. Wild and Weird World Headquarters is above the Mothman Museum. We had the workshop earlier this year, which was the first paranormal workshop at the TNT area, I believe, on the level of what we did ever. We had a massive amount of equipment out there, and next year's will be even bigger. But as for exploring the Mothman phenomena, stay tuned on that one. There's a lot that's coming that we're not going to go into right now because we can't.
Yeah,
But
Jude Cole. Not sure if you follow us long.
Yeah.
I know this is the first time I think I've seen your name in the chat because I try to remember everybody that comes in. But we have a show over at Small Town Monsters called Paranormal Horizons. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, there will be something there that you're going to find interesting. If you're interested in Mothman and the Point Pleasant phenomenon, and even if it's not the Point Pleasant phenomenon, because let's be real, that phenomenon was recorded elsewhere.
Yeah.
I had a sighting of something myself. My family has. So that's an old story at this point. That's over on Mothman Legacies, Small Town Monsters. You can go watch that. That was recorded years ago. Um, yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
There's definitely something there, and it's a lot weirder than what people give it credit for.
So Jude, thanks for jumping in. Thanks for the question.
Awesome question.
And feel free to ask more. Trackway said, hate hearing that about the drought. Appreciate the positive vibes. It's super dry. Super
Yep,
dry.
it is dry. It is dry.
Eyes in the Woods. I love the Mothman effects. He needs a hug. Then Trackway says, so let's talk about seeing shadows ducking behind trees in the woods. Ron saw a shadow duck behind a mound.
I mean, it happens. That's all I can say is it happens. People can, and then you question yourself, what did I see?
Yeah.
What was that? And technically, that thing we saw that night, you know, up there in your place, that was technically a shadow. It was because it was dark. I couldn't,
Right.
I don't know what that was. And what's funny is now, you think back about it. I shone a light on this thing. I should have seen detail when that light came over. I still should have seen some detail. It doesn't matter if you were out there.
Unless its fur was jet black.
It would have had to
And
be.
the
It
hair.
would it would almost had to been painted with black 3.0. I mean, it
Yeah.
had to absorb the light because this was an absence of light. There wasn't a sheen to it. It was just a black form, and it was a big black form. It was a monstrous. I mean, that the shoulders is what got me, and then that little head. It's wild. It's just wild.
Angie says, I've seen that a lot, but I didn't think they were Bigfoot. Is that what you believe you are seeing, Trackway? It is possibility. And then Trackway says that he saw them on 22 July 23. So
Okay.
last July.
Yeah.
Then Pat, where'd Pat did something. Pat, what'd you do? What'd you say? Okay, somebody said, say more. Linda, my grandmother was born in Southside, West Virginia, below Point Pleasant in 1898. She wasn't allowed outside after dark because of the hairy man, and her father delivered the mail on horseback and saw him. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yep, there's the
No
word.
doubt.
The hairy man.
Mothman, I don't want him calling my cell. No, I don't. That's a movie reference there. My friends and many more are planning to return to the TNT area to explore that mist and creepy vibe more. Have fun, guys. Go and enjoy. Be weird and merry.
Oops, sorry about that. Let's trying to unstar these. There we go.
Anita said we have 8 people confirmed, 4 more possible depending on what date we pick. Yeah, you guys go have fun. Jude Cole, again, thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, many thanks. Keep the questions coming. We have a lot of great questions coming in this evening. Folks, again, over there in Instagram land, feel free. Like I said, ask your questions if you're still out there. Because unlike everything else, I can't tell who's watching.
Right. Trackway said, when I walked out in front of the truck on the 22nd, a huge one passed in front of my truck. Wow.
Oh, that is, yeah. What just happened? Oh, okay. I see it now. I got it. All right. Oh, no, wait. No, there it is. All right. Well, I think it's time for another shameless plug. Because you know what? Why not?
Don,
Go ahead.
Donna said, I've wondered if the thing that has seen in Van Meter, Iowa, way back in the day in the 1800s, early 1900s by the sheriff and the banker and others was Mothman. Any thoughts?
What is Mothman?
So Mothman, let's put a definitive term on Mothman right now.
Let's do it right now because I don't
Mothman,
know that's been done.
Mothman is strictly Point Pleasant's winged humanoid thing. It was dubbed that because Batman was popular in the time frame. Now,
Mhm.
what we're talking about here are winged humanoids.
Mhm.
And Ron and I are currently working on do you want to say the name of it?
No, because I don't really know that's gonna be it yet, but it's gonna be
We're
close.
working on some stuff. And it goes way, way back. And it doesn't show any sign of stopping anytime soon.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think, I don't think that it's
Because
anything
Mothman
new.
wasn't like a moth
No.
man.
No, no, no. That's pop culture that's ruining this for everybody, and we're about to fix that. So, the thing is, there were sightings of Mothman-like things. The thing I saw was Mothman-like. I won't say it was Mothman. I've never said it was Mothman. Other people have said it was Mothman. I don't say that. It's Mothman-like because it's this winged humanoid type thing. That's what we're going to call it. This winged humanoid type thing that has the same propulsion. People are seeing the same, it leaves the same way, it flies the same way. It has some of the similar characteristics. It's the same height. It has arms or wings or whatever that are the same length. It may be associated with other high strangeness. This is a phenomena, is what this is. For lack of a better word, it is a phenomena. It exists in space and time. It is a something that exists. There are data sets that say that this exists. There are anecdotal stories. But once you have so many of those, you got to really look at that because a lot of these people didn't know each other. They just started talking to each other and hearing these stories and been like, hey, wait, I've seen that. That doesn't make any sense. I actually had that experience this past year at OBC. At
Yeah.
Ohio Bigfoot, I had that experience with someone,
Yeah.
a notable someone at
Yeah.
that.
It was
And
Doug
it
Heidrich.
blew our minds.
Yeah.
Both of us were just sitting there with our mouths open because the similarities were ridiculous. So, yeah, these things exist. They've existed for a very long time.
Linda asked a really good question. She said, why do you think some Bigfoot have conical heads and some don't?
Here's a good
Um,
question. Morphology.
that is a hard one. And honestly, like that, I would like to devote a lot longer segment to
Yeah,
that than
we
what
can
we've
we can
got.
look at morphology, right?
Yeah.
We look
You've
at
got
genetics,
but the conical head, the deal with the conical head, it comes from sagittal cresting, right?
right?
So if you were to hypothetically on a conical headed creature remove all of the flesh and meat and the muscle, you would have like a sagittal crest theoretically. But then you also have these Paracas people that have conical shaped heads. So what do you do with that? Like, I mean, there's a whole big lot to go into that conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
the
good one.
ones I saw kind of did, kind of didn't have a conical head. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't cartoony conical, you know. It wasn't even really pointed. It just wasn't quite shaped like mine, if that makes sense. It looked more, what I saw looked way more human, just like big and not human at the same time, but human enough to give that impression.
You've also got to remember hair. I mean, hair does weird things.
It does. It does. It could be hair. It could, like, these things could suffer from permanent bedhead.
Uh, I mean, come on, look at hair, dude. I mean, if it's what we think it is and it's dirty,
Yeah.
and matted, gosh, it could be all kinds of stuff.
But normally, like conical heads, like if you're talking conical heads and sagittal crest, you're talking about very intensely powerful muscular jaws that are used for pulverizing and grinding things into a pulp. So,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
devil's advocate coming from Tony Breeden, not surprised. Barker saw a connection between Mothman and the Texas Big Bird sightings. So that's interesting. I got the hiccups.
I've seen that.
Larry Potter's in the house. What's going on, Larry? Seth says, "Do you think Mothman is a flesh and blood
No,
creature?"
I flat out the gate. No,
Yeah,
no. And we both agree on this. I think at this
yeah,
point we have to. The
100%.
data says no.
Trackway says or Miss Trackway says my theory is just variation on the form. Think about how much variation we see in dogs, same species, wildly different size, shapes, coats, temperaments. And Anita echoed that. I think it's just regional variations. They wander over huge distances. You can see several body shapes in the same area. Yeah,
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
it could be that.
totally could be.
Dark Wolf, Joe, can you expand on what you were talking about earlier? Ron was talking about essentially going down the rabbit hole with realization of learning about another level of the reality of Biggie. It's not necessarily the reality of Biggie; it's the phenomena in general. Um, the what part do you want me to expand on? Because my brain is fried from lack of sleep at the moment. Shar says, could it have been an angel, Ron?
Oh, that's a good question. And
It
then I'm going
it
to answer you with with simple word labels. Um, I use that a lot because yes and no. I don't know what that was, Shar. Could it have been something that was implanted, into our visual cortex? Maybe that's not even what we were actually seeing. Could it have been an orb, But here's the thing. I actually have my wife with me and we both described the same thing. So if it was, boy, that one falls outside the realm a little bit. And then my mom had seen it back in the 50s. So, and described the exact same thing. Except they called it a ghost back in those days. But the color was right, the movement was right, sound like the exact same kind of thing. So interpretation could have been something like that, right? I don't know what that was. I can tell you this: it was not evil. Although it scared the living bejesus out of me, it was not evil. Um, but it did hit a certain primal fear thing, right, Joe? As we like
it
to call
it
it.
it did. Like when a squirrel
Yeah.
sees a bear, right, Ron?
Like when the squirrel sees a bear. Yeah, it never made it into the cut
And I
there
made such a fun shirt for that.
on Mothman Legacies. But we bring it up because that's a we can't kill that. That'll always live. So no, for real, it was definitely a level of weird fear, and just like hyper sense of get out now. And that's what I did. I just hit the gas and we got out of there as fast as we possibly could. But I will never forget that thing. Now, here's the weird part, Char. This is the very weird part. I'm an artist. I can say this after many years of saying this now. I'm a pretty good artist at this point. I can make a lot of things. I can draw things. I can create things. I can make things in 3D, all that, right? But to this day, when I sit down and I try to draw that thing from what I see, I cannot make it translate. I've gotten close a few times. I cannot make it translate. It is the one reason I really tried to get into watercolor because I thought I might be able to pull this off because of the shades in watercolor. Nope. I still can't get it. I'm hoping one day eventually I'll be able to catch that, but yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So,
So Linda said Mothman is, in my opinion, a flesh and blood individual. It most likely is supernatural because I believe it can morph. Now, it's gonna when we get into the scientific bits of that, the flesh and blood and the supernatural, those would be two completely different ballparks, unless there was a typo in there.
well, that's
And,
the subject A and
and
B
it
thing.
isn't, in my opinion, is one of the because you're dealing like the flesh and blood aspects they don't lend itself very well to the Mothman phenomena, um, especially with the speed at which
Oh
this
my
thing can
goodness.
move.
Yeah,
Um,
it moves pretty fast. I mean,
the
in the
the way that
world.
people said it was projecting thought in some accounts, it does seem far more into the supernatural side of things than into the
Mhm.
flesh and blood.
But we don't know. I mean, and that's a fair, a fair analysis of that. We don't know.
And if it was a flesh and blood type thing, then there would have to be multiples of it to have the vast array of sightings. And then if you had multiples of it, then theoretically you'd have some kind of a
Got it.
breeding population. To have a breeding population, you're going to have far more sightings that are going to be more consistent in an area than currently what we have, I would think. Pat said, why are Bigfoot so different from each other? A, phenotypic plasticity. Yes. Phenotypic plasticity is the exact word for that.
Mothman
Straight out of
46 just
textbook.
joined over on Instagram. Welcome, Mothman 46.
What's going
Yeah.
on, Mothman 46?
Have any questions? Feel free to ask. We're trying to watch both channels.
Yeah, both feeds at once.
Yeah,
Donna
this is
Ho, do you
fun.
think the sagittal crest is related to weight and size? It's related more to diet than anything.
Yeah.
Then the hair
but
makes a lot of sense too.
But if it is a part of the skeletal structure, then the answer would be yes, probably,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
the bigger the skeleton, the bigger the point would probably be, right?
Right.
So, but it's just conjecture and theory. I mean, we don't really know.
Anita Allen, Eastern Bigfoot tend to have more rounded heads in reports. I think that diet affects the development, but I know William recorded a big conical head in one up the road from me, so who knows? And then, like you're talking about, when we're getting into the diet affecting development, you're looking at subspecies and whatnot too, because like if you've got sagittal crest versus no sagittal crest, and that's no longer like the same critter. You've now got subspecies. You put it under one umbrella, but you've got subspecies that are branching out from underneath it. Scott said, anybody else heard any theory that Bigfoot with sagittal crest seem more aggressive? The Patty subject had a sagittal crest, or at least one that looked like a sagittal crest, and it was walking away. Now I've heard the stories of the ones that look more monkey-like being way more aggressive. The ones that had more like the baboon features that have been described, like the kind of pushed out mouth a little bit. That those were normally not pleasant encounters. There were and there's even a name. There's a name described. I can't remember what tribe it came from, but the tribal name was a gugwi, which basically was a devil monkey.
Oh wow,
Is essentially what it describes. Is the devil monkeys from Appalachia?
That's a great name.
Then Trackway says chimera. Could it be chimerism? If it was chimerism, you're dealing with like a one-off genetically. That's just how that plays in the wild anyway. Terry McCullough says, I've had shadows in my house.
Oh yeah. That's I don't think you're going to find too many people here who say, nah, you're making that up, because I think almost all of us have seen that at some point, Terry. Just for the fun of it, everybody out there who has seen like shadow beings or shadow something in your house, chime in right now and just verify that. Say, yeah, me too. Because that's common in my opinion. I've seen it. I don't know. You've seen it too at this point, right, Joe? I mean, I think you have.
Oh, shadow things? Yeah, I got ghost cats.
Right. That's what I thought. It's just like,
I've seen the shadow things since I was little.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So
Donna Ho said, are you saying that Mothman actually isn't moth-like, but more bat-like, or vice versa?
no,
It's not moth-like at all.
It's not moth-like.
And it's not necessarily bat-like.
It was never described as a moth, period, ever.
Yeah, no, never. But Mothman was just a name ascribed to it by a local reporter.
Mm-hmm.
But
because Batman was popular.
Yeah, Batman was popular and it sold papers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
do you have
Mothman
a thing? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Do you have a representation there?
That's what I'm looking. I got Wayne's up here.
Well, that was one representation.
I've got they're all in pieces. That's the problem.
Do we have one of our Christmas ornaments? That was the closest thing, I
I got
think.
the OG.
Okay.
I got that one.
No, not that one. Not that.
You
Not
have
that.
all the keychain ones
Yeah,
because
that's
you've
what I'm
got that
saying.
mold.
Well, I'm saying, do you have any laying around?
It's let me look. You guys are gonna just have to.
Yeah.
I'll jump off camera so that way you're not getting a
Yeah, go
growing
ahead.
piece.
That's fine. Yeah.
1 second.
Okay, so he's gonna go out and look for some Mothman sketches for you. Actually sketches, but 3D creations for you. But yeah, it didn't look like a moth at all, Donna. That was a concept that really came out from Frank Frazetta when he created the cover for the reissue of Mothman Prophecies. And it was made, famous. I think it made it onto I think it was a cover of High Times or something at some point. Now it's posters, and that's what I think that people assume it looked like, but that's not how it was described by the original witnesses. It was described as, muscular. There was actually like angel wings rather than these reptilian wings you see people put in onto it. Very feathery, muscular though, very muscular. No head, it didn't really have a head. It was just rounded with
Okay,
these
so
big reflector
this is
eyes.
silver because it's the
There you
paint that
go.
I used to
Yeah,
make it glossy for the mold.
yeah.
So
That's good.
disregard the color, but that was basically it. That's
That's
what
close. Yeah, they're very
really
close.
close to the
I did
drawing.
a little artistic liberty there at the bottom and get a little shape and whatnot, but that's really close. The kind of a gossamer type creature,
Yeah.
with wings. Very strange. It's really weird because you're thinking, again, if people are going to make something like that up, there is no way they would go with a description like that. Um,
Now, Linda said Mothman is a solid, but I saw a UFO in an orb, and I believe it can change. Bigfoot
mhm.
too, my opinion.
Good
Neither
opinion
hurt
too.
me. Mothman could have. Now the Mothman, the original report with the Scarberries talk about something solid hitting the vehicle.
Hmm.
Flesh and blood doesn't just mean it's solid.
Yep.
That just means that it's got mass. If it's solid, it has mass.
So now that we've confused people, let's try to clarify what that means. What
So
it can be both.
yeah, energy, everything's energy. It's all energy all the
Mhm.
time, everywhere, right?
Right.
And the mass of something is what is going to make it have the density to do um so this thing, if we have something that can phase in and out of that type of man, this is I need a way longer time to explain this.
Go for it. You're fine.
If we're dealing with something that can adjust its molecular structure to the point that it can phase through solid objects or affect solid objects, then we're no longer dealing with a flesh and blood, so to speak, creature the way that science would describe flesh and blood. We're just dealing with a subject that can change its density and mass, form, etc. We see this stuff in ancient religions all the time, usually from a transcended entity. Once this person goes through transcendence or transfiguration, then they're now of a different type of uh, being. They're no longer what they started out as. It is transformed into something beyond. And then you start seeing these pass through walls thing. You start seeing these things that can touch you, but still not be solid at the same time. It gets very, very weird and very deep into the physics department. And I can have this discussion at nauseum if we want to one day.
Oops. Sorry about that.
But and we definitely can, because it's something that I think we should cover in depth, is what makes these things what they are and not a flesh and blood. type thing,
Mhm.
or at least break it down from a physics aspect, from a very scientific aspect that we use as part of the protocols and research.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be something that gets addressed, Linda. So don't think that we're not answering that. There are certain parts we don't want to answer fully right now because there's something coming, and you're going to want to see it. Um, and it's not just our words; you're going to hear it from other people, and you're probably going to see it on this platform, right here. That would that would be my guess. You'll see it on that, and it's going to cover a lot of that. So be prepared. It's going to be
So
interesting.
Dark Wolf asks, Biggie is apparently a flesh and blood creature hominid. What more have you ascertained about this is what we were talking about earlier. What
Mhm.
more have you ascertained about any other data surrounding its existence, whether a woo factor or something else entirely?
Go ahead and hit
We
that.
if in the first episode of Paranormal Horizons and in every lecture that we've done over the last few years, and you look anybody who's watched our show, anybody but go back, you'll hear us constantly refer subject A, subject B,
Yeah.
Bigfoot or Bigfoot like. Anytime you hear the terminology Bigfoot like, we're referring to an entity that is perceived as Bigfoot, but it's very likely not a Bigfoot. Because a Bigfoot is what I witnessed, what I observed was something that, eats, sleeps, poops in the woods. What some other people have witnessed is something that steps out in front of their car, its hair raises up and it looks like electricity buzzing between them while their car battery dies and they come to a rolling halt and the radio goes out. Then they have missing time. And then this thing is there again. The hair goes down, walks off the road. Everything comes back on like an episode of X-Files.
Or it turns into a ball of light and floats away.
Yeah.
That's something that happens, and those are 2 different things, and we don't I don't I'm not gonna, not gonna berate you for this, but we don't use the word woo, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why we don't. There's a lot of folks here who are experiencers. They've seen things that they can't quite explain. I mean, I'll just give you an example. I just talked to one yesterday that don't want to talk about it because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And we need to get to that point where we can have those conversations openly. And the only way we're going to do that is when we stop using biases like that. For example, um, there's a camp that created that, and we
Yeah.
need to get away from that camp. We need to get to the camp to where it's okay to ask the hard questions. It's okay to look for this more stranger aspect of these phenomena. And right now, like Joe said, we don't see this being one thing. Right now, the data says that there could be 2 separate things going on.
Or more.
Oh, who knows? But right now, we've broken it down just into 2
A
because
and
it's
B.
the easiest thing to deal with.
Yeah.
Um, and it is really going to be either flesh and blood or it's going to be, some kind of a other. And it's
Yeah.
the other that's, the subject B. That is very, that's the one that confuses people. That's the one that causes them to doubt things and, their own belief systems or follow other belief systems as it were.
Yeah.
And that's the one that they think that people, it's always going to discredit our serious research of science. Well, no, it's not. Because now you have the tools to sit there and use and validate that some of this stuff is
Yeah.
measurable. It is data in itself. And that says, well, it can't be in our minds. We can't be making it up. It can't be a misinterpretation because you've got multiple pieces of data here, validation that are, pieces of equipment that are validating each other. There's something there. We may not like it, but there's something there. And that is where we're at with this. And that's why we created this series, by the way, is just to help people to deal with that more weird stuff. And and try to open up a terminology, change lexicon, as Joe likes to say.
Anita Allen said, so talking about Mothman, so it's only pretending to be humanoid, like it's an octopus with its camouflage, making it look like a flying humanoid.
I mean, maybe.
It ultimately, the best way that I could define these flying humanoids is that they tend to be followed by some really bizarre stuff that goes around with it. And it would,
Yeah.
to me, implies that these things are a non-human intelligence.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put this. We can't define it. We can't say, "Oh, it's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this." Like, for example, the Mothman-like thing I saw, it it flew like the reports of Mothman. It acted like it. It did everything like it, but it didn't have glowing red eyes. And then you read some of the reports and they didn't have glowing red eyes. Some did, some didn't. So there's these similarities and then there's these little discrepancies. And that makes me wonder if it's not something that's interacting in here. And if you've seen any of our presentations, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that there's some kind of a cerebral connection with this, like John Alexander said, it was a, precognitive sentient phenomena that this thing, it knew how we would react. It was in complete control of you, basically, of how you were going to react to a phenomena, to a stimuli. And at this point, our data says that is exactly what we are seeing at times. Go ahead.
So Donna said that I've had many weirdness experiences, but never saw a Mothman type creature. But I have had an Indrid cold experience, but it was in California and in 1980. Donna, get a hold of us because that would be fun.
Yeah, I want to hear
I,
that.
I would like to hear way more about that for
Yeah,
other things.
yeah, I would like to hear more about this.
um, so
we do have an open casting going on right now, by the way, for
yes,
anyone who wants to share your UFO, Mothman, creature-like kind of sightings. Contact us right now because we're going to be setting up interviews. We've got a couple of you guys already said you're going to come on, so we need to schedule with you, and we need to do the what is it, the virtual interviews. So yeah, you can join these virtually, or if you happen to be around and the moon lines up in the right position and we happen to be in Point Pleasant at the same time, we can make that happen too. But we're not planning on going back down there this weekend. Let's put it that way. So, but yes, we will do this virtually, and we can, of course, conceal your names, sounds, all that stuff. So we need your stories to add to the growing amount of data that we have that is showing a phenomena at play here.
So Trackway brought up something that was really funny. It's an inside joke between us and everyone who has purchased one of these things. Trackway says, I mean, so many people have drawings of their encounter made only to have their Bigfoot face drawing resemble the experiencer's face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's Joe Squatch. We know. We know that's the Joe Squatch.
Completely inadvertent, but it happened.
He says it happened inadvertently.
It happened. At the time, I did have a long beard. Now I was doing the beard work, but apparently I got the facial structure too. For
okay, so we've got takers. My gosh, we have takers. How cool!
Yes, I was sent an email by one of them, by the way.
Oh, good. So we'll start setting those up for next week. It won't take long, guys. I mean, honestly, it's just going to be like a little, 15 minute conversation that we'll record on here, and it'll go on Paranormal Horizons on the actual series, on the episode that deals with the Mothman phenomena.
Yeah.
And it's shaping up to be an absolutely incredible episode at this point. And for those who do not know, I'm going to show a really quick trailer for you because you might have been under a rock or something. I don't know, but let's get ready for part 2 because it's coming soon. Yeah. That gets you excited, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. Always.
Does me. Makes me a little exhausted, too, putting all that together.
That's a
It's worth it. It's all worth it.
It is.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the idea, to knock some of these doors down, get people asking those hard questions. And I've seen a lot of them asked tonight. So many, in fact, that literally, this is your show. We said it. We didn't even get to talk about our main subject, but that's okay. We'll save it for some other day. This turned out to be a way more personal conversation. And this is what we really like rather than just the boxed, commentaries and going over the news. You can watch any YouTuber will do that, but this is your show. So not very many of them are going to let you, hey, turn over the floor. Here you go. Steer the boat.
Let's see. We're coming in on that timestamp.
Looking good. Looks like we got a few people out there in Instagram land still hanging out.
Anybody asking questions over there?
No questions as of right now. Anyone has any questions, please get them in ASAP. We are listening. We are watching. And they're just a little bit behind us, just to let you know.
Yeah, it's like a minute or so, I think. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit behind.
Oh man. So yeah, tonight's been fun, man. This has been a good episode.
I can't
have
take
enjoyed
credit.
it.
I cannot take credit for that music. That was sent to me by the creator of the actual. There's an intro that for the show, and that was the music for the intro for the show that was sent over, and I love it myself. I mean, I think it's just awesome. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
fantastic.
It fits perfectly.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That was not the intro to the show, by the way. That's something that I did for us here. I just used the music from it, and it's okay. I have a license to do it. Don't report me.
Yeah, YouTube, chill out.
Yeah, got license on this one, guys. So it's all good. Promise.
Who's ready to play?
Yeah, let's do this thing. I know people have been asking. They've been wanting to bring it back, and I told you when things chilled out a little bit, we'd dig back into the Zenner card stack, and we would do that. So let's do that, and we're going to. Is that right? Yeah, I got it. Put our regular thing back up. All right, so I got them here. Let's do the shuffle first.
Rob Posey said, "Ha ha! Figured out the app. Now you can look at it real time."
All right.
All right, we've got guesses rolling in
because it's really cool when you look at it in real time.
We're off the gate.
Like, really cool. I'm still shuffling, so I don't know how you're doing this. This is amazing. I don't know, y'all some other level of precognition right now that I've never seen. So, all right, that's the card. Y'all know what to do. Let's get it done. Stun me, amaze me. And for you folks over there in Instagram land are wondering, like, what in the God's name is going on right now? This is just something that we started doing a few months back that people absolutely loved, and they loved it so much that I got the equivalent of hate mail for pulling the thing from the program. So it's coming back, and this is what we're doing.
And here it is.
And here it is. This is actually it's a Zenner card test that we did with the group, and they were doing really good there for a while too.
And Zenner cards are a precognition test.
Or telepathy. You can use it whichever. Yeah, they're not evil. They don't have any kind of secret meanings. I don't want to see a bunch of people run around saying that they're over there worshiping Satan or some nonsense. That's not what this is. This is actual data, science. You may have heard of it. I don't know. It's possible. Whatever sells, I guess,
All right, we got basically everybody who's watching with us right now has hit the. Hit the
they're all good. And for the new people, when they say bacon, they're referring to wavy lines. When these cards
looks like bacon. If you're looking at the page, you see bacon.
Yeah,
it's okay.
When these cards were actually created, it was basically for symbols that meant nothing to people. But our people are so special that they made these symbols mean something. So
that's right.
They're just amazing. All right, here it is, guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You got to be
Bacon.
kidding
Let's see how
me.
many we got. Going
You
all the
guys
way up.
kill me.
We got Ike Faber got bacon.
Oh,
He
man.
was the first one to guess. Ike guessed it before I even put up the thing.
While we're still
So
shuffling, yeah.
so he's on it. And then Anita said square.
So, you know what's funny about that? That would be true precognition because I hadn't even shuffled the cards at that point. If you really think about it, what happened
Oh
there?
yeah, 100%.
That's interesting to me.
What 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That's a good number.
That's
8,
a
8. I
really
think.
good number. Donna's leaving. Everybody tell Donna
See
good
you later,
night.
Donna.
And we're getting ready to head out to Donna. This is just the final thing that we're going to be doing. So you got to see the whole show. Unless
Yeah,
somebody
this is
does
it.
something
We're
really
wrapping up right now,
amazing.
Donna.
I mean, someone could do something really amazing in the next 5 minutes, but I
But
don't
Donna,
know.
for real, get a hold of us. I'd love to
Yes,
hear your
please.
Indrid Cold like story.
Please.
It'd be awesome to talk to you about that.
All right, I shuffled again. Here we go. Ready, guys? Do your thing.
Here we go.
Go.
Let's do it. Get those guesses in. Or really not guesses. Get those precognition.
It's the first thing that comes to your
See what-
mind. That's what I tell people. Like, make you a visual reference in your head. What is it? The first thing that comes to your head when you say, "What is it?" You know, something like that, or snap your fingers. The first thing snap my fingers. When I snap my fingers, that's going to be the card. Boom. What comes to your mind when you do that? Whatever works for you, do that. Because what you're actually doing right now is a form of remote viewing. It is an associative remote viewing, a form of the protocol. So, congratulations. You just learned something in this podcast that you thought was just hilarious because it sometimes is.
Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Mhm.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See if I see what you did there, LR. All right, yeah, let's do it.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I'm going to go with a plus on this one, but that's just me.
That's what I did. Ah, we both got it. And I even put mine in the comments.
Yeah.
So
How many of you guys got that?
Let's see, we got plus. Let's see who got plus. Look at that. There's plus.
There's plus.
Octopus is with us. It's
Yeah.
just us and Octopus.
Oh, wow.
3.
Wow, that's interesting, huh? Okay. Let's do a shuffle. I think you guys do a lot better on the precognitive test though than you do on the telepathy kind of things. I think it depends on the sender, honestly, how it works. There's several methods and methodologies that can be used that actually incorporate a triggering it with emotions and whatnot as well. I'd like to try, but that's one-on-one with people. Whoever's brave enough to sit at a table with me one day.
Oh,
do
no, there
this.
was a fourth one. We did have another plus.
Dark Wolf got it.
Yep, so there was fourth. I had to
Wolf.
I went through them again, going on down one more time.
Yeah. All right. Here's your chance to redeem yourself if you've not got it so far. It can be any of those things. Any of those things, sorry. Always go with the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't go with I think it's this. No, wait, it's that. Do the very first one. Trust me. Years of experience say, trust me on this. How are we looking? Still coming in?
I'm counting them.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's really hard too because you'll see these other people and it'll mess your head up.
Yeah.
So you gotta condition yourself to go with that very first instinct, not the one that comes out later, you know. I'm gonna say star. Oh, it's a plus again. Look
Plus.
at that. I was
Back to
wrong.
back pluses. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, Miss Trackway got it.
Oh,
There's one, two. We had two. So it went from 8 to 3 to 2. 4 to 2. So whoa, hold on, wait. We're deducing by half each time. Started with 8, then 4,
it
now
did.
2.
It did. So, what did I tell you about how the study, how I used to keep track of this, right? I said you would get the high hit and then it would just start
Yeah.
falling off. Well, you're kind of seeing that in a group setting.
Yeah, 8, 4, and 2. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah. So, in theory, no one should get it if we do it again. But average says that there should be at least one. Who's feeling lucky? One more just because we just discovered that. That's it. Okay.
Let's do one more, see what happens.
Yeah, I got to see this. All right. Let's go.
Get them rolling in. You're almost there.
Mm-hmm. Looking good. Looking really good. Getting a lot of responses here. We there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Are we good? Are we ready to
got
go?
it. We got it. We're on
Ready
it.
to
Let's
go?
do it.
I'm gonna go with square. It's a plus again. Now, what are the odds of that?
What are the odds of that? All
That's
right,
3
let's go.
pluses. So who got it?
Going up to the top.
I was using associative remote viewing with the blink method, and it I blinked a little too early, I think, when I was scanning.
And nobody.
Did nobody get it for real?
Nobody got it.
This is what the data said should happen. If that's the case.
Well, if we want to get all right, if we want to do this technically, Trackway 1 got it. Technically, maybe 1. I don't. Is this what you were guessing, Trackway?
No.
Are we going to use that?
No.
But yeah, no, it went. Yeah.
It matched the okay.
And then
we predicted this. Thank you, Octopus.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. That was a good example of how you follow the data, right? Because we were going to end this and it was like, oh, that's interesting. So down the rabbit hole we went. And then we saw, well, wait now, this should happen if this. It's exactly what happened. You saw it. It's real. There it is. And that's the kind of stuff we do every week. If you're interested, come on back here Thursday because, you know, it's a wild show, as you can see. I mean, there's some really interesting things that
Nikki
happen.
is batting 0 for the last few times we've done this.
Which means that if I'm also right about that, Nikki, next week you'll have a pretty good run because that used to be how it worked. I don't know if any guys, you know what? How many of you guys would be interested, honestly? The show of hands before we go off here, for real. How many of you guys would be interested if we made our own Zinner card deck. If that would be something you would be interested in doing. I mean, we would have to have some funding to do it, but
Yeah,
it could happen. There could be a wild and weird original Zinner card deck.
that'd be
Um,
fun.
yeah. So if you're interested, it's got to be something that we're really interested in producing, and it would probably be a very limited run. So if anyone's really interested in that, then I want to see hands up right now. Yes, yes, yes. And it's
Octopus said that was crazy. The odds of 3 in a row and the odds that you predicted the odds while talking about the prediction of the odds. Oh, good times. So far, we got quite a few people saying, yeah. They're down for it. So we'll look into it. It's something to look into. Guys, tonight has been an absolute ball of a show. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, if you want to catch us on the road, our show schedule is over on the website, wildandweirdwv.com. If you want to get a hold of us to join us for a remote interview for Paranormal Horizons, get a hold of us at wildandweirdwv@gmail.com, or one of our individual emails will work too. Then we've got some work to do. And boy, are you guys going to be blown away when it all comes together. I cannot wait for you all to see it. And Ron apparently lost the internet. So he's like gone. And oh no. Trackway said Sky Daddy card, Joe card, Brandon card, Ron card. Ron just messaged me. Ron messaged me. He said lost it. Okay, yeah, Ron's internet went out. So, all right, guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It has been an absolutely awesome show. And remember, 1 in every 18 people have a third nipple. Are you that person? Stay wild and weird, everybody. Good night, and we will see you next week right here, Wild and Weird Radio Live, 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night. Come hang out with us. We'll see you then. Later on, everybody. Stay wild and weird.